Right, in this section, we're gonna solve quadratic equation using a few methods. The first methods we're gonna learn how to do is using by factoring. This is the most common method. Assume that the equation is factorable, right? This is the simplest and the quickest method. Now, if they're not factorable, then we're going to use something called quadratic formula. You're probably familiar with this. Students love quadratic formula, right? Because it always work. You don't have to know other things. And the last section is going to be solve quadratic equation in form. Why in form means it not quite quadratic, but it have a pattern of a quadratic formula. Right? All right, let's jump into the first method. Solve quadratic equation using factoring. Here I have x squared minus 2x minus 3. As you can see, the coefficient of x squared is 1. So remember what I say, when the coefficient of x squared is 1, the leading term is 1, use getting check. It's fast, right? So what you're going to ask yourself is 2 number multiply to -3 and add to -2. Let's see here, multiply is add. That will be a negative 1 and -3, right? 1 times -3 is -3, and then 1 plus -3 is -2. So I have x plus 1 times x minus 3. I'm sorry, equals 0. Equals 0. So what does that mean? I mean, if you have two numbers, so these are just two numbers, multiply to 0, what does that mean? It means at least one of those is 0, right? One of the binomials got to be 0, right? So that means, it means either x plus 1 is 0 or x minus 3 is 0, or both, right? So that means x got to be -1 and x is 3. And that'll be a solution. It's quadratic, so you should have two solutions. Okay. This one right here, I have u squared minus 15u equal -26. So the first thing first, you have to move the -26 to the left side. So it has, the right side has to be 0. Why? Because at the end, I want this, right? If two things multiply to 0, then my logic is one of you got to be 0, right? Hence, you have to, the right-hand side has to be 0. So in order to do that, we could just have to move the -26 to the left. So become positive 26. Now you add 26 both sides. Two numbers multiply to 26 and add to -15. -2. Let me use blue here. -2 and -13. Yeah. So this is u minus 2 times u minus 13 equals 0. And that means u minus 2 is 0, or u minus 13 is 0, or u is 2, and u is 13. Done. Right. Of course, you can check. I'm not going to do it here. Just review. I'm not doing it here. Now, problem C. I know your first thing you wanted to do is FOIL them together. Don't, right? Remember, we're trying to factor them, right? It's already in factor form. So they kind of do a favor for us, right? All you have to do is set each of those equals 0. So this imply x equals 0, x plus 4 equals 0, or x minus 1 equals 0. Right. So x0 is x0. I'm not going to rewrite that. So this one, x equal -4 or x equal 1. Right. It's a cubic, so of course you have 3 solution. It's not a quadratic. I'm sorry. I know it's not a quadratic, but I got this problem from textbook. I don't know why they put in there. Yeah, I don't know. All right, same with this one. I guess they try to tell you that this, methods wise, All right, this one, remember what I say in the previous video? First thing you do when you factor something, look for the GCF. Always look for the GCF. It's easier to factor something with quadratic than cubic. So the GCF here is x. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull out an x. I'm going to use red. I don't know why I use x, right? So what remains is x, 6x squared plus 5x minus 4 equals 0. Okay. I'm going to attempt to factor this as well. I'm going to factor that one too, right? So again, AC method. This you got to use AC methods. Two numbers multiply to negative 24 and add to 5. Add to 5. Okay. So that will be what is this? 3 and 8, right? Or more precisely, 3 and minus 8, right? 3 minus, sorry, minus 3 and positive 8. Yeah. All right, so this will be x. So it'll be x minus, I'm going to use blue. Sorry, I'm going to use blue. So it'll be x 6x squared, we rewrite 6x squared minus 3x plus 8x minus 4. Remember, we're doing AC method. We're not going to do x minus 3x plus 8 and then call it done. It'll be incorrect. Remember what I say? You need 6x squared, not just x squared. So group factoring like that. Okay. First term, I can pull out 3x, right? 3x, what remains is 2x minus 1. Okay. Second term, I can pull out a 4. So it'll be 2x minus 1 again. So I can factor out 2x minus 1, 3x plus 4. And now bring down that x there. X. And now we have, this is not quadratic. I don't know why they do this from your book. All right, so here x equals 0, 2x minus 1 equals 0, 3x plus 4 equals 0. So this x equal what? 1/2, right? X equal negative 4/3. And x0 is x0. Just box them up. All right, so that's how we solve quadratic equation using factoring, right? You just factor them, right? Just like we did before. Second step, you're gonna sorry, not second step. Second method, we're gonna solve quadratic equation using quadratic formula. Again, student loves this. All they have to do is memorize the formula and apply them. That being said, I want to say something about this formula. If you are a math student, I usually show student how I derive this. But since you're a business student, I'm gonna spare you that. I'm gonna jump right to the problem. So this part right here, I'll do purple. I'll highlight in purple. This part right here, not including the square root, just b squared minus 4ac, is called a discriminant. Discriminant, right? If the discriminant, if something underneath a square root is positive, greater than 0, you're going to have a 2 real solution. If something under the square root is negative, well, you're going to have an imaginary solution, right? Or they call it complex solution. Of course, right? If it's negative square root, you're going to have I, right? And then if it's 0, then you're going to have a double root. Some of my colleagues say one solution. I hate not one solution. It's quadratic equation. You should have at least 2 solutions, right? Or 2 solutions precisely, because of the theory of algebra, right? You can't have one solution, but some book they put one solution in there. All right, let's do this. Solve using the quadratic formula. If you can factor it, factor it. If not, using quadratic formula. Here I have, first thing first, I'm going to do this. So here I have A is 4, B is negative 9, and C is 5. So x equal negative b plus minus b squared minus 4 times a times c. Move to the left a little bit. Divided by 2a. Right. Okay, all right. A is 4. Right? 4. B is negative 9. And C is 5. Right? The reason I do this because I don't get to make mistake. The reason is negative 9 quantity square is not equal to negative 9 square. Right? A lot of people is lost to do that, and they make mistake, silly mistake that you can avoid. So it'll be positive 9 plus or minus 81 minus 4 minus 16 times 5. Okay. It'll be 1, right? 1 over 8. Well, square root of 1? Square root of 1 is 1, right? So it'll be 9 plus minus 1 over 8. What does that mean? You have x equal 9 plus 1 over 8, or x equal 9 minus 1 over 8. 10 over 8, so that'll be 5, 4. And this will be 8 over 8, 1. So those are your solutions. Okay? You know. This. There you go. Okay. All right, second one. First thing first, you got to write it in ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Remember that? Right here it has to be in that form. It has to be in that form. So what we're gonna do is we're going to move everything. We're gonna distribute and then move everything to the left. So it's gonna be negative x squared minus 6x and then move 4 to the left, and minus 4 equals 0. Right. Here I have a equal negative 1, b negative 6, c negative 4. It's equal. Let's see, negative 6, negative 1, negative 4, negative 1. Okay, see what I have. X equal positive 6 plus minus. Plus minus. 36 plus 16, that's 52 over negative 2. Now, 52 is positive, so you're going to have two solutions. 52, I can break it apart. It's going to be 4 times 13. 4 times 13. Why? Because I want to take a square root of 4. So this right here, let me I'll do this. That part right there. I'm gonna use yellow. It's equal to 4 times 13, which is 2 root 13. I want that. I want the exact answer. I don't want decimal. Okay, please don't give me a decimal. I mean, in real life you do get decimal, but you know, try to. It is mathematical quantitative. So we're going to do the math way. 6 plus minus 2 root 13 over negative 2. Actually, you know, we need to simplify it. I forgot. Simplify it. We're not done yet. Let's simplify that. So it'll be x equal. I can do this. I can split it apart like this. This minus 2 over negative 2 root 13. So x equal minus 3 plus minus root 13. Let me do that. Okay. Why don't you try C? You know what? Let me. No, I want to do. We do C together. We do C together. So A is 8, B is negative 4, C is 1, saving. All right, 1. Okay. X equal 2 times 8. All right. B is -4. -4, 8, 1, 8. Okay. Oh, I might not have enough space. So +4 plus minus. Let's see. What underneath the this right here, that'd be negative. What would be negative? This will be 16 minus 32. Be negative 16. Square of negative 16 is 4i. Yeah, 4i. Let me write it like this. 4i. Okay. So 4i over 16. Again, you can factor out the 4, cancel the 16, or you can split it apart like this. Let's split it apart. Okay. Which is equal to 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4i. Plus minus, sorry. Plus minus. Okay. Yeah. You try D on your own, okay? Pause the video and try that. All right, solve quadratic equation in form. What do they call it in form? Because it's not really a quadratic equation, but we can make it look like quadratic, right? We can turn it into, we can manipulate it into a quadratic equation and then use either factoring or quadratic formula. Okay. So for example, I have x to the 4 minus 5x squared plus 6. It's definitely not quadratic, right? It's the quartic, right? It's the 4 power. But what I can do, I can do this. I can manipulate. I can write like this. If I let u equal, I'm going to use something called u substitution. U equal x squared. Or always use this guy. Do not include the 5. Do not include the -5. Just the x squared. Then what happened to u squared? Well, u squared is going to be x to the 4. When you square both sides like that, right? X squared is x to the 4. Right? Now I can rewrite it like this. I can rewrite it as u instead of x to the 4. I'm going to replace with u squared minus 5 instead of x squared is going to be u plus 6 equals 0. Does it look like quadratic now? Yes, it does, right? 2 number multiply to 6 add to -5. U, not x, u. Okay. -3, -2, perhaps, equals 0. Okay. So this is u equal 3 or u equal 2. But remember, we're not solving for u, we're solving for x, right? So we have to plug x back. Well, in the beginning, we let u equal x squared. So wherever you see u, you replace with x squared. So be x squared equal 3 now, x squared equal 2. And then you solve for x. How do I do this? Square root both sides. And when you square root both sides, make sure you add plus and minus. Right? So x equal plus minus √3, x equal plus minus √2. And that will be your solution. Let me do this. I like this better. Okay. All right. And you have 4 solutions, right? Because it's the quartic. It's the 4-degree equation. All right. Next one. Again, we're gonna use the u. You're gonna use the u substitution. So I'm gonna let u equal the middle term. Always the middle. Do not include the coefficient. Just the variable. Square of x. I got to wait for that, otherwise it won't let me write. Square of x. Then u squared will be x. Because square both sides, which square of x square is x. Then I'm rewriting this I'm going to rewrite in terms of u. So instead of x, it's going to be u squared. Plus 4 instead of square of x, going to be u. Minus 21 equals 0. And you know how to do this. Two number multiply to negative 21, add to 4. 7, sorry, 4 and 8. Right? Um, plus and minus, right? Minus 4 plus 8. Here, either u equal 4 or u equal negative 8. Does that make sense? I gotta skip the part u minus 4, u plus 8. And then you plug x back, right? So u was x square of x. So replace u with square of x equal 4. Square of x equal negative 8. It's kind of weird now. Square both sides. Square. We're not taking square root, we square. Oh, sorry. Right. So that'll be x equal 16 and x equal 64. No, don't stop here. Remember what I said about theory of algebra. If your equation is quadratic, you should have two solutions. If it linear, 1. If it cubic, 3. Quartic, 4. Right? Now this is none of those. It's not polynomial. It's square root. Right? So when you do something like that, remember when you square thing up, when you square it, you might create an extra solution because you square them. Look, you square them. Right? You might create an extra solution. So you got to check your answer. You got to check your answer now. X equals 16. Great, this worked. If you don't believe it, you can check it. Use your calculator to check it. I'm not going to do it here. Again, I don't want a video as longer than it should be. But x equals 64 does not check. This does not check. If you plug it in, it does not check. It does not check. And you can see it the beginning. You can see it from the beginning. If you have square of x equal negative 8, is there anything? What kind of number is x that when you plug it in, you square root it and get negative 8? None, right? None. You can have I, but if x is negative, but it's not going to be negative 8, right? So it doesn't make any sense. Right? You use your common sense. So when you saw something, if you're unsure, check your answer, right? So we only have one solution here, x equals 16. I want you to try on your own. Please try on your own. Okay. All right. So that's conclude our recorded video. Good luck.